How to join McKinsey, BCG or Bain as an experienced hire. To make sure we are on the same page here, the majority of new management consultants still joins immediately after completing an academic degree such as a bachelor's, master's or PhD degree. In contrast, by experienced hire, I refer to a candidate who has already gathered a couple of years of work experience before applying for a consultant role. In this video, I share my top tips with you on how to best join a consulting firm as an experienced hire. I struggled a little when trying to find the right title for this video because a quick survey revealed that the different top consulting firms call experienced hires different things. McKinsey and BCG call you experienced professionals. At Bain you are welcomed as a working professional, though Bain Germany calls you an experienced hire, as do Roland Berger and Strategy and. Essentially, these terms relate to the same, a candidate with previous work experience. At this point, let me welcome you back to this Yoon Consulting YouTube channel on which I share my business and consulting career advice with you. I'm Jack and spent 5 years as a consultant and project manager with McKinsey & Company. Since then, I've been working as an independent management advisor. In this video, I'm going to fulfill 5 objectives. I will first explain you your consulting career path as an experienced hire and tell you how it compares to the standard entry career path. Second, I will point you to the pros and cons of joining a consulting firm as an experienced professional. Third, we will touch on your motivation for becoming a consultant, but also discuss the motivation factors of consulting firms to hire you as an experienced professional that you need to be aware of. Fourth, I will share my top tips on how you can increase your odds of success of your application as an experienced hire. And fifth, last but not least, I'm going to share with you an out-of-the-box tip on how to become a consultant that you may not yet be aware of. So stay tuned. Let's get started with the comparison of consulting career paths of experienced hires versus graduate hires. The entry as an experienced professional is somewhat murkier and less standardized than the entry after graduation. In the following, I will assume at first the case of an experienced hire who intends to join a top consulting firm as a management consultant after gathering between 2 to 5 years of job experience, which I think is the most common case. I will say a few words later about experienced hires wanting to become a consultant who bring significantly more work experience. Second, as an experienced hire, you may consider roles offside the standard consultant track as well, and for instance join a consulting firm's internal research department where you can leverage your specific subject matter expertise as well. Let's now focus on how your early career path in a top consulting firm typically looks as an experienced hire on the generalist consultant track and how it differs from somebody who joins straight from university. It may look something like this. After you join as an experienced hire, you may remain a consultant for a year, after which you get promoted to senior consultant, and another 2 years later, you should become a project manager. So in total, already within 3 years of joining, you can expect to become a project manager. In contrast, if you join with a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, after 2 or 3 years of working as a junior consultant, you may be encouraged to take a leave of absence for a few years to pursue an advanced academic degree such as an MBA or a PhD. You then return as a senior consultant before becoming a project manager. Depending on your entry level and your degree choice and on how much you optimize the speed of your career progress, the path from junior consultant to project manager can take you between 5 to 8 years. As a word of caution, these career tracks can vary vastly from company to company and even within a company from country to country. What I've just shared with you here closely resembles the career development paths within McKinsey Germany, but in other countries or companies you may not get encouraged that much to take time out for an advanced degree and skip this part. In case you want to understand the different consultant roles from a junior consultant up to a senior partner a bit better, I serve you with a quick summary of these roles in this video here. So you can already see from this that given your previous work experience, you can generally expect to climb the consulting career faster, which leads me to the discussion of the pros and cons of joining a consulting firm as an experienced hire. Essentially, the fact that you rise up faster already presents the greatest advantage of joining as an experienced hire in my view, but of course you have to count against that the years you have spent with another employer before. A second advantage is that you start with a higher entry salary compared to new joiners with a bachelor's or master's degree. Now, let me tell you about cons you may be less aware of. While it is great that you can expect to be promoted faster, this essentially also implies that you have less time to develop your basic consultant skills, such as Excel modeling skills, which you typically hone during the first years of your consulting career. Compared to somebody coming straight from university, you're expected to get up to consulting speed significantly faster, and your previous work experience may help you with that only to a limited extent. Another disadvantage of joining as an experienced hire is that you may feel juniorized in two ways. Let me quickly go back to this slide. I joined McKinsey Germany with a PhD degree. McKinsey Germany treats candidates joining with a PhD and MBA or previous work experience the same way. I remember that moment when I met a new hire who had already gathered 6 years of company experience, and how I felt really awkward about the fact that he and me would start on the same level with the same salary. This may feel really uncool if you are the guy who comes with significantly more work experience but still starts on the same level as people with less such experience. And there's a second way how you may feel juniorized. Even as a consultant with previous work experience, during your first few projects you will carry out work that is very similar to work done by junior consultants who join with a bachelor's or master's degree. Essentially, you still need to learn the basic consulting skills and subordinate to your project manager. The more senior your position had been at your previous company, the more pain you may sense from an initial drop in responsibility. Something that is known to the least consulting aspirants, but which I explained to you here on UN Consulting, is that once you have joined a consulting firm, you are assigned an internal price tag. Your initial price tag depends on the role you have, and it increases during your career progress. It reflects that the more senior you are, the higher the fee is that your clients get charged for you. However, this price tag also matters when you internally compete with other consultants who would like to join the same project. If you join as an experienced hire, you will initially have a higher internal price tag than graduate hires, but still be at a similar level in terms of consulting skills. Hence, consulting teams may prefer choosing cheaper colleagues to you to make best use of their project budgets. You can surely outweigh your price disadvantage if your previous work experience matters to a project. For instance, if you have previously worked as a banker and now want to join a finance project. However, your banking experience will matter only little when you want to get on a pharma project. Hence, generally, if you ponder over joining a consulting firm immediately after graduating or doing something else first before joining, then I must say that the direct entry after graduation is very attractive. Obviously, if you're watching this video, chances are high that you have already accumulated work experience and do not have this choice anymore, but I want you to be aware of these caveats. Let us now talk about your motivation that entices you to join the consulting firm as an experienced professional, as well as the motivation factors of consulting firms to hire you. Let me try to read your mind. These are common reasons why you like to change careers. You feel career progress is somewhat slow in your current company and want to develop faster. You want to benefit from working and learning together with ambitious and very capable colleagues. You want to get to know different client companies instead of just one. These are all fine reasons to switch careers and will be appreciated by consulting firms. I'm very much aware though that many of you will want to join a consulting firm as well for the following reason. You feel that you are specializing too early within your current single industry, the one that your current employer is operating in, and as a consultant want to take the opportunity to explore other industries and business functions as well. If you have further reasons why you like to join a consulting firm, let me know in the comments. In any case, this last reason is a more dangerous one. You will understand in a moment why. Let's flip tables and consider why consulting firms are interested in hiring you as an experienced professional. You must be aware that historically, consulting firms prefer to hire university graduates, and the share of experienced hires in total new hires has been steadily increasing only in the recent years. Why is this the case? The number one reason that consulting firms are forced to change their hiring policies are their clients. In the past, clients accepted to be presented with a smart young prodigy coming straight from university much easier. Clients have become more demanding though, and an automotive client may not anymore accept such a generalist junior consultant, but expect somebody with specialist experience. For instance, a consulting project track record in other automotive projects and an engineering background on top of that. And here, your previous work experience can present a major plus. If you have previously worked for a couple of years for a car manufacturer, your consulting firm can fantastically pitch your profile to other automotive clients. However, do you see the conflict here? You may join a consulting firm in order to explore other industries apart from automotive. The consulting firm, though, may hire you exactly for your automotive expertise. This megatrend that forces the top consulting firms to move from generalist to specialist is an extremely important one to understand. If you want to learn more about it, I dedicate a 10-minute video to this top issue in my Management Consulting Guide online course. You can find out how to access it here. Apart from your specialist experience, there actually is little motivation for a consulting firm to hire you as an experienced professional. It needs to pay you a higher entry salary as well as needs to promote you faster. More importantly, any consulting firm wants its consultants to adopt the same values and follow the same procedures. It is easiest to influence the minds of young graduates this way. The more mature you are, the more difficult it may be to motivate you to change your mindset and habits. And looking more senior is great when facing a client. However, the older you are, the less willing you may be to accept long working hours or long periods of absence from your family. Keep these motivation factors, but also risks for consulting firms to hire you as an experienced professional in mind when you apply. This leads me over to the penultimate topic for this video, tips for your application. Generally, you must go through the same application process as any other candidate, hence send your CV and go through the business case interviews. I want to give you a couple of special pointers though on how you can increase the appetite of consulting firms to hire you as an experienced professional. First, highlight relevant consulting skills. Show that you know what it takes to be a consultant. Highlight any Excel modeling, PowerPoint presentation or client negotiation skills that you have acquired during your first job. Second, bring relevant expertise. It helps if you come with a background that is in strong demand, that can be a specific industry background, as well as any digital capabilities, experience in artificial intelligence and the like, which make your profile extremely attractive. It also helps if you can prove that you are great at analyzing large amounts of data. Third, apply as an expert. Many consulting firms offer you to join directly as an expert consultant rather than a generalist consultant. For instance, if you have a marketing background, you may immediately apply to the consulting firm's marketing practice instead of a generalist consultant track. That department will value your previous experience much higher. Fourth, hide your intention to go off track. I know many of you want to join a consulting firm in order to explore new industries and business functions beyond what you have done before. I recommend you though, keep that desire secret until you have got hired and rather say you want to further deepen your experience in your current field of expertise. Once you have joined, you may have to work hard for it, but can still change your career path. I give you tips on how to enjoy the variety of consulting life in this video. Please let me know in the comments if you have further questions on how to join a consulting firm as an experienced hire. Furthermore, if you are still on the fence on whether you should really leave your current comfy job to change into a consultant, I strongly recommend you to take part in my interactive You and Consulting job test, in which I help you find out if consulting is the right career choice for you. It is free and you can check it out here. Earlier I had promised to say a few words about the scenario of you wanting to join a consulting firm with significantly more experience than 2 to 5 years. You must be aware that in this case there really is no standardized recruiting process which you need to negotiate individually. Furthermore, it is extremely rare to get hired directly as a partner or even just as a project manager. If you bring extremely senior experience, most top consulting firms will put you on a promotion fast track, but still make you experience a few projects in a more junior role. Finally, I had promised to share with you an out-of-the-box option to become a consultant. If you actually bring already a couple of more years of significant industry experience and want to become a consultant, then there may be a better way for you to get where you want. Find out if you are already qualified to become a freelance or independent consultant, which is what I did after leaving McKinsey. As an independent management consultant, you enjoy many perks of consulting life, but typically earn a higher income and enjoy more flexibility. I made 2 videos on this topic already, I link one of them here. If you consider applying as an experienced hire to a consulting firm, I strongly encourage you to check this opportunity out for yourself too. I hope you found this video insightful. If so, as usual, leave a like, subscribe and share. See you soon back on here, Jack.